Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope all of you are doing good. 2020 is coming to an end and what a year it has been. I'm sure you all relate to this when I say that 2020 this year has given all of us a very new perspective on various aspects of life. And if you've been following me for a while now, you would know my love for journaling and New Year resolutions and all that kind of stuff. And so, towards the end of the year, I go into this introspective mode where I just think about everything that's happened to me in the last 1 year. I also start reading my journal that I have written in throughout the year, and I just really enjoy looking at myself, reading my own journal entries throughout the year, see myself grow and evolve as a person, and it's just very interesting to see how you grew in the year through that lens. And so for this year, I actually decided that for my last video of 2020, I'm going to do a recap of how this year has been for me and also share some of the lessons that I learned along the way, because believe me, 2020 has taught me so much that I really thought it just makes sense to share that with my YouTube family. Now, if you're someone who usually struggles with sticking to their resolutions, then early this year in January, I made a video where I share 5 tips on how to commit to New Year resolutions. And so if you haven't watched that yet, I'm going to link it up here and also in the description box below. And now let's get to my recap. So 2020 did not start off very well for me. It was a pretty difficult phase in the early few months. And so in January, I was going through a very difficult phase. I had had an accident the month before, that is December of 2019. And so January was pretty much me still recovering from the injuries, the scar on my face, which has faded a lot now. But in January, it was pretty visible, and I had gotten around 20 stitches on my face, and it was a very tough time for me to just recover from the pain, and also just seeing that on my face, it affected me a lot. And I also had acne going on pretty intensely in January. I've spoken about this in my skin transformation journey video. And so scars, injuries, the entire right side of my body was hurt and I had marks everywhere. I still have the scars, they haven't gone. And so it did not make things any easier. If you're losing confidence, just like you can't even look at yourself in the mirror, it was one of those phases. And at the same time, I was also going through a very difficult breakup situation in my personal life. And so I've mentioned that I was going through a tough phase here and there, bits and pieces, but I've never really put out the whole thing publicly. And so January was a very difficult month for me. It's just a blur of tears, to be honest. That's all I remember from January, is that I was always crying. And yeah, so the year did not start off well for me. And in fact, that is one of the reasons that the last video on my channel was in January of 2020, and then until July I was not on YouTube, because I just did not have it in me to face a camera. Actually, I couldn't even face a mirror, so let alone a camera. And like I can't be giving out those vibes. I don't want to make other people sad. And so that was the last video on my channel for the next few months, and it took me a while to be able to come back on camera and start speaking to people. And so that's how January started. So come February, I was still a big mess. Obviously, the things are not going to heal that quickly. It had just been less than a month or something. And so it took me a long time. I was a mess in February. But one of the really good things that happened in February is that my best friend got married. And so that wedding was like a good distraction for me. But at the same time, so what had happened in February is that I was in the place where I genuinely believed that whatever other people are saying about me, multiple people, I actually believe that all of that is true, and I genuinely believe that I am a very bad person, and I hated myself. That was that was like, those few months were the lowest point of my life. I've never hated myself so much. I was disgusted with myself. And I remember there were 3 days I did not get out of bed, I did not eat. I actually fainted in office and something happened. But I was just not taking care of myself. I didn't feel like I deserved to be treated well. I didn't feel like I deserved to be treated well by myself also. And I was just punishing myself and telling myself what a bad person I am. But the wedding happened, and that was a good distraction, as I was saying. But I expected myself actually to be a complete mess, because my best friend is getting married to her college sweetheart, and I was going through this breakup, and I really needed her, and she was just busy with the wedding, and I don't blame her, obviously. Like, I understood, like, she can't be there for me as much as I would have wanted to, because she was busy with her wedding stuff. And so I felt pretty lonely, but then I made new friends because of that. And like, I found one new person this year who has become such a close and dear friend now. And yeah, so that was a good thing that came out of it. I mean, there's like a silver lining to everything. And so when I went to the wedding, I expected myself to just break down when I see people getting married and couples, and that happens. But somehow I was not sad even for a moment. I was just so happy for her. I was surprised by myself, actually, honestly. And I also got to meet all my college friends. It was like a huge reunion, and there was so much love and happiness around. And I'm really grateful that that happened in February. And those few days with my friends, with the wedding, and I just got this new perspective on, what love should be like, what a relationship should be like, and who are the people that really matter. And so February was bad, but then there were tiny, tiny things that were really happening. I was getting a little bit of clarity. I wasn't over things, but I was beginning to see that, okay, maybe this is how things should be. Maybe I was in some darkness, and just maybe towards the end of February, I think for a second I felt that maybe I'm not a bad person, but for a long time I just punished myself a lot. In March, after I came back from the wedding, I think that was like, I needed that comfort and support from my friends, and that really helped. And so in March, I completely immersed myself in my work. That is usually my coping mechanism. If I cannot deal with reality and emotions, I become a workaholic, which is my usual mode, but then I just did it to a next level. And in fact, in the same month in March, I also traveled to Mumbai for Bombay Times Fashion Week. So that was great that happened during that time. I really needed to get out of Hyderabad and go to a new place, and needed some change and be around new people. And in fact, like, walking in a show also helped me with my confidence, which I had completely lost in Jan and Feb. And so that really helped. And I felt, okay, maybe I'm not a horrible person entirely. I can do work. At least my work made me feel like I was enough, even if in personal relations I did not feel enough or good enough. And now, around the same time, I actually started having more concrete thoughts about quitting my job, which I did a few months down the lane. But so there were these vague ideas since 2019, and I think I was actually going to quit my job in January 2020. But then I just decided to stick it out for another 6 months because of some bonus money that I was supposed to get. That was my only reason for sticking to my job, honestly. And so those thoughts had started to become more concrete. Like, I did not have the courage to actually say it out loud to people before that. It was always there in my head. And so in March, I started reading stuff about it, on whether I should quit, whether I should not quit. Started speaking to people who had been in similar situations. How did you take that call? What are the pros and cons that you weigh? And I was making efforts to get more clarity. And the next thing that happened is that just less than a week after I returned from Bombay, the country went into lockdown, which nobody saw coming. And so in March, because of that, March and April, I also got a lot of time to spend with my family, which I think was a good change for me for a while. Yeah, I definitely needed to spend time with my parents, with my siblings, and all of that, because of everything that had been going on with me in the last few months. So it was just nice to have people around all the time, because staying alone by myself like I do, it does take a toll on you, and especially when you're going through a tough time. I did not realize how much I needed my family. I thought I'm just gonna focus on my work and I'll be fine, but the lockdown actually gave me that reality check also, is that I was not doing myself any good by isolating myself from people. Now, in the months of April, May, and June, the lockdown had started taking a toll on all of us, I'm sure, and it was not easy. Life had changed so drastically in the blink of an eye. Nobody knew what's happening. There was no definite end to it, and we just didn't know how to cope up with it. Like, how do you plan your future? I, in fact, had a Europe trip planned for 2 weeks in the month of May end and June. I was supposed to be in Switzerland and Greece, and all of those plans were just cancelled, and I was not happy about that. These were the months, where all of us made Dalgona coffee, and work from home situations. If you're working, you all know it just got so intense. In fact, it still is very intense. And so it was just getting more and more difficult staying with family if you're not used to it, and just, staying at home all the time. In fact, even the news, there was so much negativity on the news, and especially for people struggling with mental health issues, it was a very triggering time, and it was just one of the lowest points. We just did not know what's happening, and that is around, I think around May is when I also realized at one point that my thoughts were not good for me. I just had the most horrible thoughts about myself and generally about everything. And so my best friend, who had gotten married in February, she was one of the people who actually told me that I think you need to go for therapy. And that is one of the best, not one of the best decisions I've ever taken for myself in my entire life. I cannot emphasize how much good has come out of it. The effect it has on me. I was a different person. I started in April end or May, I don't really remember, but say the last 7 to 8 months of therapy have been so transformative. I don't think I've ever had so much clarity of thought in my life. It was such a good decision. Not just me, I think every single person on this earth needs to go for therapy, because it does wonders. And so around May, since I already had these thoughts of quitting my job, and there was so much stress, and it had started affecting my health to the point where general office meetings would give me anxiety attacks, and I could not sleep, and I was constantly crying, and I was a big mess. And staying with family when you're not used to it makes things a lot more complicated. You don't have your friends to meet. Video calls are not enough. You need comfort. You need something with people, and it was just not there. And so my therapist has been like an angel in my life. I also had these doubts about quitting my job. It was just not making me happy. But this was around the time when I started learning the difference between short-term happiness and long-term happiness. And these excerpts that I'm sharing from every month are actually, these are things that I wrote in my journal, and this is me putting out what I've written in my journal. I'm sure you guys can see how the thought process was evolving from January, February to June, and even so on. And that is why I really love doing this journaling and doing recaps of videos. Recaps of years. So a lot of things had been changing, and this was around the time, I think around May end is when I actually resigned from my job, and those last 2 months were the most difficult. It was not easy. I've made a video on why I quit my job, like 5 reasons I've listed there, and it took me a long time, like more than a year, to finally come down to these are the 5 reasons. I made a list of pros and cons, and it took so much effort, and self-doubt was there in me. Am I stupid? Who quits their job in lockdown? Who does that? My manager had 2 meetings with me asking me, are you really sure you want to do this? And that did not help with me, because I needed clarity, and I was just like, don't question my decision. It's taken me so long to finally be able to do this. And that is where therapy really helped me, because what therapy does is it makes you so much more self-aware, and I feel like this fog has lifted off of my head. And so when that manager was still asking me, I think it was just therapy alone which was saving me from not getting confused, not falling into that trap again. Not a trap, but whatever that situation was that I needed to get out of. And while my family understood and just understood, not really supported, they kind of just understood and accepted it, because like I'm at an age where they can't really force me into staying in a job. But if I had asked them should I quit or not, their answer would definitely be that stick to your job, because no parent is going to tell you to quit your job in lockdown. And I also thought that I'm completely crazy, and so I had mentally prepared myself that the next 6 months I might not do anything in life. I was so mentally prepared. That is how much sadness, and that is how badly my job had affected my mental and physical health by that time, that I just knew that the most important thing in my life right now is to get out of this situation and be happy. And I don't care if I don't earn a single penny in the next 6 months. I just don't care, because I cannot go on like this. I'll burn out and something will happen to me. And it was just so difficult to resign, to send that email. It took so much courage, and that last month of notice period, I could not wait for it to end. In fact, the last day of my office, the next day, like there was a day when I woke up and I realized I don't have a job anymore. I felt like I was experiencing rebirth. I know it sounds pretty dramatic, but it actually felt like that to me. There are moments in your life where you just feel like, okay, from now on, things change. This is a turning point. And so 1st July was that day for me where I felt like this is it. Now my life is in my hands. I am not doing things because somebody else is asking me to do this, or just because I was just going with the flow. I could not separate those two things, and now I feel so much more in control of my own happiness and my own life as well. Now the next 3 months, that is July, August and September, my happiness levels were definitely better. July, I came back on YouTube and there was so much motivation. I was so happy. I was loving what I was doing. Even though there was still lockdown, but it was slightly lifting from July, August onwards. And so I was getting shoots. I actually did a lot of stuff, more than what I expected. I got into acting. I did a short film. I did another film like halfway, and then something happened there. I did my first TVC, and so much happened. And this is not something I had planned. I was mentally prepared, as I said. The next 6 months may be nothing, but I will focus on my mental health, on myself, on just being happy, because it was so important. There was this one page in my journal where I had written, I don't remember which month it was, but I had written that sadness has become my comfort zone. I just didn't care about being happy, and I don't think I had been happy in a very long time. And so July, August, September were about me. If you read the excerpts that I'm sharing, it was about self-love and acceptance, and how, when you really want something, if it's destined to be, you will achieve it. And I was manifesting things, and a lot was going on. And I think that was where the mid of the year onwards, the second half of the year, I actually regained control on my own happiness. I realized that this was when I started understanding that maybe, the things that other people had been saying for me, I hadn't come to terms with it completely, but just maybe, and I have said this on my Instagram a lot, is that others' opinions of you are just opinions and not facts. And so these were the months where, after getting out of my job, I actually went back to the things that had happened to me in Jan and Feb. And I think I actually got time to think about that later, because from March to July, I was just so engrossed because of my job that I did not really have time to think about anything else. And one of my favorite quotes that I've written in July is that if you numb the darkness, you numb the light. And when I read that, I realized that for so long, I've always been that person who's like always chasing something. And this phase of the year is when I realized that maybe I need to calm down and just be proud of myself for what I have achieved. I don't think I ever really felt proud of myself. Like if other people said it, I was like, okay, but it's not that big of a deal. I don't think I've really done anything. I think I still am that person at some level, which is good in a way because it always pushes me to do more and I never want to become complacent. That's my goal. But as you see, just like there's a very fine line between overconfidence and confidence, there's also a very fine line between underconfidence and confidence. And so I was somewhere on that line. I couldn't really figure out if I should feel good about myself or not. And so what happened is, even though I was doing good things, I was not giving myself enough credit for what I had achieved and done. And so, because I was trying to numb out all the emotions where I had self doubt and insecurities, and I was just trying to block all of those emotions, that is what the quote means. When you numb the darkness, you also numb the light. And so, I couldn't love myself either until I came to peace and acceptance with that there will be some self doubt. I'm not perfect, but I need to learn to accept both sides of the coin. Again, September was that month where I was in a lot of introspection mode. I think that's been entire of 2020, but so the quote that I've written is that maturity is how you act upon it. And so for a very long time, I felt super guilty about having certain thoughts and certain feelings. And this is something that my therapist has actually taught me, is that it's okay, you're a human being and you will have all types of thoughts and feelings. You don't have to hate yourself for it. You don't have to feel super guilty about it. If you didn't act on it, if you didn't respond to those things, you didn't do anything stupid or immature, then you are mature. Maturity is not blocking out emotions, it is choosing how to act on those. Coming into October, I think I definitely started feeling some kind of progress on my healing journey. Like I've written, time does not heal things, we do. And this is something that my therapist has said again. And I just write down things that she says sometimes. That's why I call her an angel. I cannot, it's just one of the best things that's happened to me. And which is true. It could take a year, it could take 2 years, it could take even longer. For some people, I've read that it's taken 10 plus years. And I don't know how long this journey will be. Maybe it's an ongoing process that goes with you for a lifetime. But it's just important how much progress you make each and every week and every month. And so when I heard that, okay, time does not heal things, you gotta have to put conscious efforts. You want to get better. In one of the earlier months, I had written that you don't need to heal to help or inspire others. I think my YouTube family will understand this more than anyone else because the kind of self-doubt that I was going through, I did not expect to be emotional in this video. The kind of self-doubt that I was going through, I did not feel like, why would anyone listen to me? Why? I'm a mess myself. How can I inspire somebody else? And that's what my therapist told me. You don't need to heal to inspire or help. You can still do that. And what YouTube has done to me, not just me helping and creating content for other people to achieve their dreams, because I feel so strongly about that as I keep saying, lack of information should not hold back someone. It's happened to me. It took me so many years and I can't imagine any other person, waiting for 5 years or 8 years or 10 years because they didn't know how to do this. They had this dream but they couldn't. And so, but then you guys have left such sweet comments. So I'm going to take a moment in the video here to tell you guys that the YouTube comments that I get, the Instagram messages that I get, you guys have no idea how much that has helped me. I save screenshots of all the sweet messages and comments and I have a separate folder in my phone for that stuff because it means so much to me. That is what keeps me going, and because I know where I came from. And I was such a mess. And sometimes when I read your comments and I see self-doubt somewhere and I see so many younger versions of myself, and it just, that connection is something else. And so you guys have helped me a lot in my healing journey as well. Coming to November, I think this month was all about me learning to let go of the past. There were very significant days, which I would say without going into too much detail, where there was a moment where I decided, okay, everything in the past is the past, and I just completely detached from everything and I took actions on it too, and I made very specific, put out the message basically that I am done here, like this is it, and my past is my past and we need to let go of things that hold us down. All of us, sometimes we think that, we don't deserve forgiveness and we don't deserve love and we don't. Those had been my thoughts for such a long time. And so the quote that I've written is forgive when you've learned. And I had conversations with a few people who have really been encouraging me and supporting me and just sending me so much love throughout the year about these kind of things. And this was the first time I actually explicitly told someone that I really hate myself sometimes because of the mistakes that I think I've done in the past. And this one person told me that just the fact that you realize and you have so much guilt and remorse, so just you've learned your lesson, so you gotta forgive yourself. And I think for a long time I knew that okay, these are my mistakes way back, but I had not forgiven myself. And I don't think I had forgiven other people, but forgiving yourself needs next level of courage. And I was just so scared that if I forgive myself, what if I make the same mistakes again? And I'm not sure if I'm really making sense here, but I really hope that some of you can relate to what I'm saying. I think we all go through this at some point in life. And so November really taught me that it's okay. I really learned to be kinder to myself and forgive myself. And so that's what I did. The other thing that I've written is that you can't become big until you become the center of your universe. The modification there, this is a very close friend who told me this statement, and I thought that was really interesting. And the fact that whenever I'm in a situation where there are other people involved, and I'm the kind of person who will want others to speak about themselves and, just put the attention on them. Like, I don't really want to be the center of attention in personal situations. I just kind of shy away from that sometimes because I feel like they're gonna think, okay, she's too full of herself, something like that. And so I don't want things to be revolving around me. And this actually comes from past experiences where people have told me things such as, you are very difficult to love, you're very difficult to be with, and the world does not revolve around you, you need to get over yourself. And when someone says that to you, I think it affected me so deeply that even years later, you are still so shy and underconfident because of that in some aspects of life, is that you remember that word, the world does not revolve around you. And so you try to make everything revolve around someone else because you don't want that attention and you don't want anybody else to be able to say that to you again. And so in November, I came to terms with all of that. And I think you don't have to be the center of the universe, but you should be the center of your universe. And I think that is a lot of self-love wisdom right there, which I really liked. And now coming to the last month of December, that is this month, and we are coming to an end of 2020. And I think so much growth has happened. I really hope you guys can also see what happened in the beginning of the year to the end of the year. And so one of my favorite sentences was, a lot can happen in the space of a step. And what that has taught me is that there will be days when you just don't feel like you can even take a single step. Maybe just sometimes brushing your teeth is the biggest thing that you achieve that day. But that's fine. You just have to learn how to be kind to yourself. Don't be easy on yourself, so easy that you don't do anything. But I think all of us know at some level you can't lie to yourself. So learn how to be hard on yourself, learn self-discipline when necessary, and learn self-love and be kind and gentle to yourself when needed. It's very important to understand that balance, and I'm still struggling with maintaining that balance on some days, but I do think that I've learned a lot about self-love this year. And the other thing that I received advice from someone was about, don't think about saving money all the time. Try to see how you can make more money. And so that kind of shows, towards the end of the year, I'm getting into my mojo back and I'm all motivated, and I really want to kickstart the next year with a lot more zeal and enthusiasm, a lot of goals for what I want to do on the work front and also on the personal front, because 2020 has definitely taught us something, that you have to appreciate and be grateful for the people that you have in your life, because when everything else goes haywire, it's family, it's your best friends, it's people in your life who are really close to you that are there with you, and that takes you through any type of difficult phase in life. And so that is my recap of 2020, and I really wanted to put it out there because I think I've learned so much this year, and even if someone can pick up one lesson from this entire video, or if you could relate to and resonate with what I was talking about, we just feel a lot more closer. And I think human connection is so important in the world today. And I would really love to know, what life lessons you have experienced and learned this year. And so please do share them in the comment section below. This video is about me just talking to my YouTube family as if you all were right here. And that is the kind of connection and bond that I want to develop through this platform that I have. And I wish all of you a very, very happy new year. I love you guys so, so much. Thank you for being a part of 2020. Thank you for helping me get through so much. You guys, the messages, the comments that you leave have helped me. Sometimes that's been the only reason I get up on certain days, and that means so much to me. I love you guys so, so much, and I will see you very soon in my next video next year. Bye bye.